I absolutely love hearing stories about how people have gotten curious with generative AI tools like ChatGPT. From starting to ask initial questions to realizing the potential that it holds to provide insight. Also, thinking about how to validate sources where you're getting information, and then being able to take the information and dive deeper into what you're doing. So, a couple of examples for you. One is coding. I've heard of people who are trying to create something a little bit simpler on their website or something where they can do some customized code, and they're not quite sure where to start. Maybe they looked up some things and made some tweaks, but it's not quite working in their environment. So they go into a tool like ChatGPT and paste the code, or just simply ask the question, if I'm using HTML, CSS, or any other type of language used in that program, how can I create X? Maybe it's a scrolling banner with colorful text, and they're able to quickly come up with an answer. And maybe it's not the first answer they get, and they have to ask a couple clarifying questions, but it helps them to get to that end outcome a lot sooner, and they're able to learn and start doing a lot more. I've also heard from people who are stuck in Excel and they're not quite sure what that function should be and how to write out your equation. And they've been able to copy and paste that into ChatGPT and say, this is what I'm trying to do. This is the function that I put in. Why isn't it working? What am I missing? And then they start to get some insights so they can learn and figure out as they go. Absolutely don't believe that you should just copy, paste, and go about your day. We should take that opportunity to learn from these tools. So the next time we're not trying to do the same function, trying to do the same code, and constantly depending on the AI tools, but learning as we go and figuring out how to evolve and change that. So I've seen those types of things even in the classroom as a professor, coming up with activities to do with students, coming up with ideas for test questions, for different lesson plans, for ways to connect the material to students where they are in this world today and make it really relevant to things they'll understand, as well as what does that look like in the world. If you have not started to get curious and explore some of these AI tools, they are absolutely here to stay. Instead of being afraid and hiding and not touching them, I encourage you to get curious, get out there, start to play around. I always encourage users to validate any sources because a lot of my students have said it seems like AI is really smart. It knows everything. It is pushing out from inputs that it gets. AI tools have gotten a lot better over the last few years, but it's not perfect and it's not always going to give you the right answer. So validate those sources. But it's going to be able to help you and create more efficiencies, whether that's in your personal or professional life. I encourage you to get curious today.